wheels in the open road. I got the throttle wide open, feel my pace. Got 100 horses between my legs. No destination, no end in sight. Just me in the open road, riding into the moonlight. On my two wheels, all that I need is white lines and gasoline. Life in the fast lane, it's easy to maintain. Just twist the throttle on back and feel no pain. From the open highways, backwoods of the country, where live free or die is the only way. On my two wheels, all that I need is white lines and gasoline. Never look back, never look back. 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 White lines and gasoline. White lines and gasoline. Two wheels in the open road, life and death in my own hands. I am my own justice, I am my own man. I never look behind through all that I have seen. 'Cause all I need is white lines of gasoline. White lines of gasoline. White lines of gasoline. White lines of gasoline. We believe in the American way, and we built this country called the USA, and we fly our flag 'cause we're proud and free, we're Americans. Red, white, and blue is our way of life. We never back down from a challenge or a fight. Nature provides, God gives the rights, we're Americans. So proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land unafraid, and the home of the brave. are the brave. We'll fight you in name, the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. Stand of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say, just that star, spangled banner, yet wave for the land of the free, and the home of the
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, iRacing fans from around the world, welcome to another live broadcast by All Pro Broadcasting in association with KMA Racing and Jason Russo and Pro Automotive. We bring you Race 9 in a 12-week series of the TNT Series, Tuesday Night Trucks, proudly brought to you by Jason Russo and Pro Automotive. I am Scott Kolovic. Up here in the booth, joining Michael D'Amico with All Pro Broadcasting. Going to bring you a lot of great racing out here tonight. Tonight we are at Autoclub, 2 Mile Speedway, sitting in Fontana, California. What a night for racing, folks. 65 degrees. Track temperature sitting at 65 degrees. There's going to be a lot of tight 3-wide, possibly 4-wide racing out here done tonight by the Chevy Silverados and Toyota Tundras. It is 100 laps, and these drivers are looking at about a 30 to a 35 lap pit window, so hopefully they will keep it together and bring us some green flag pit stops. As I mentioned, this is race 9 of 12, and these drivers are out here running for points. Looking at the point standing grid after 8 races, we've got Mitchell Reeves up there in the points. First place with 1 win. 307 points in second place. Steve Dutz, 1 win, 267 points. Sitting in third place, Justin Anderson. No wins, but still a very respectable 248. And 1 point behind is Greg McClendon in fourth in points with a 247. But unfortunately, Greg not able to join us tonight. Ooh, folks, that's going to cost Greg some serious point standings. Attendance is key. When you are running a point, you can't get any points if you can't get out on the track. Looking at some of the drivers out here tonight, we did mention Mitchell Reeves. He is out here tonight in the 0-2. We've got Justin Anderson making his appearance tonight, along with the number 3 of Mark Jackson, the number 87 of Richard Brose, joining us tonight. Richard Brose, our Monday night sponsor. Big shout out to Richie B's Pizza. We've got the number 91 of Joel Guy, the number 7 of Chuck Dix, sporting a great looking paint job out there, TFL. Going to be looking at that truck later on tonight. We've got Michael Johnson out here tonight representing PAD, as well as Gary Whitmer. Now, Gary Whitmer Jr. tonight driving the PAD Musselman's Applesauce Chevy Silverado. Gary Whitmer out here showing his support for PAD. Another driver out here showing that support will be Chris Hogue. Chris Hogue tonight in the number 6. And he is driving the latest edition PAD truck brought to you by Ted Emmenizer out of the Gearhead Paint Shop. Big shout out to all the fans sitting out there in All Pro Broadcasting chat. As we roll on tonight, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to hit me up on that chat box. Tell me who you'd like to see out here, who you would like to hear from. Drivers during their qualifying times are sitting at about a 39.5-second lap as an average, being 100 laps out here. Tonight's race, if it goes caution-free, could go by very quickly, and these boys could make a short night of it. As we are walking around this large speedway tonight, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at those grooves out there, and you will actually see that each truck can fit in one of those groove lines, and there are 5 grooves. I have seen these drivers go 5 wide at Auto Club once or twice. I've never seen them pull it off successfully, but they could very easily do 4 wide here at Auto Club. Drivers are finishing up their qualifying laps. We're going to get to that grid momentarily. One more big shout out to Jason Russo, not able to join us tonight for the TNT Tuesday Pro Automotive Series. Jason will be missed out here tonight, but a great sponsor indeed. Drivers are finishing up their qualifying times. Sitting out there in that number 1 position, we have got a fan favorite out there tonight. We have got the number 98 of David Washington. A little bit late getting into that pickup truck, but we're going to see David Washington's truck a whole lot tonight. David Washington pulling down a 39.548. Pulling in that number 2 spot, we have Mitchell Reeves, the 39.573. Scott Sanderson in the number 93, pulling down 3rd place with a 39.577. And Ryan Kuhn, the young puppy himself, 17 years of age, position 4 with 39.582. And rounding out our top 5, the number 73, Justin Anderson, 3rd place position in points, 5th place on the grid, 39.591. Taking that 6th place is number 99 of Jarrett Lipster, the KMA young gun himself. Number 7th position belongs to the Skittlemobile, Abe Bowden. Looking very sharp out there in that baby blue Skittle. He is side by side with the number 48 of Steve Dutz. Steve Dutz, a very heavy hitter out here tonight, qualifying into 8th place. Number 211, Tristan Beats, position 9, another KMA young gun. Rounding out the top 10 is the number 4 of Tor Helebo. Number 3, Mark Jackson, son of a digger, sitting there in P11. Side by side with the Monday night sponsor himself, Richard Brose, the number 87. Great looking truck there by the number 6 of Chris Hogue, P13, representing PAD, side by side with the number 33 of Vernon Markheim. And rounding out the top 15, the number 14 of Colin Bauer. Position 16, the number 64, Lee Staples. Position 17, Ronald Hartfeld in the number 15. Danny Rudy, Dan's Top Notch, Heating and Air Conditioning. Position 28, Rusty Farrell, sitting in position 19. Michael Johnson, sitting in position 20. Ivan Garcia, position 21. Kenneth Wright, position 22. David Whiteside, position 23. Paul Polizer, position 25. Gary Whitmer Jr., 26. Lee Ryerson Jr., 27th. Chuck Dix, there's that truck I was talking about. Great looking truck right there in the orange and black. And at the rear of the field is the number 91 of Joel Guy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, A lot of drivers out here. Not too many, not too few. Great amount for a great night of racing here at Auto Club. David Washington, Mitchell Reeves, positions 1 and 2 starting out. A lot of expectations out here for David Washington. Now we'll have to check out that paint job there by David Washington because he is the driver. A couple of weeks ago, we were calling him the Twisted T. He was driving the Twisted T Toyota Tundra, but it appears he may be in a monster truck tonight. We'll have to get some close-up camera shots on that during tonight's race, but he is side-by-side with Mitchell Reeves in the Southeast Motorsports Yellow and Black Attack. All starts and restarts are done on leader's discretion. Pace car goes in. Well, let's see what that leader does discreet to do. Holding steady, and away he goes. Picking up that speed up to 117, 128, 130. Off to a very huge start out here. David Washington, what a start. Leaving Mitchell Reeves and Scott Sanderson sitting there. But right now, Scott Sanderson does appear that he is going to be fighting back and fighting back hard indeed. But on that inside lane comes the number 73 of Justin Anderson. Justin Anderson, these points are very important to him, but they're also very important to Mitchell Reeves. Now here at Auto Club, a lot of drivers will call this a baby Talladega. And Talladega NC, and indeed it is. Now ladies and gentlemen, look at these grid lines out here. Look at those rubber streaks going down that track. We can count them across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 if you include that apron, such as Justin Anderson likes to do so. Plenty of action out here. Plenty of room to go. 4 and 5 wide. Looking at the number 93 of Scott Sanderson, creeping down that inside lane up to the rear end of Steve Dutz. Well, we didn't even see Steve Dutz take an advancement right there, but Steve Dutz right now get a big shove from the number 93 of Scott Sanderson, but both of these drivers just not quite able to get up to the rear end of David Washington. David Washington's last lap, a 45.246. Justin Anderson's a 45.534. So David Washington very noticeably faster out here early on. What a great start out here at Auto Club. Big shout out to my teammate Donald Stewart with Donald Stewart Racing. Hit it up on that broadcasting chat. Could not make it. Well, I tell you what, Donald Stewart, I'm hoping to see you come Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. We've got a great triple hitter weekend here with KMA and APB. Mitchell Reeves, Scott Sanderson side by side. Great racing back here. Ryan Kuhn getting up there into that mix. As I was saying, folks, Friday night, we are doing the Cup cars out here at Talladega. It's going to be a big super speedway weekend, but that will be race 9 of the Friday night flights brought to you by Blaze Pizza. On Saturday, a very special event. We have got the Harley-Davidson Screaming Eagle 266 brought to you by Edward Bray, keeping those cameras focused on Mitchell and Scott. What a great job. Saturday night, another live broadcast by All Pro Broadcasting and KMA as we showing some love for the Harley-Davidson Screaming Eagle 100 laps of Talladega in the Gins. And on Sunday, the most important race of the month, ladies and gentlemen, the monthly PAD awareness, PADD, People Against Distracted Driving, 100 laps of Talladega in the trucks. Brought to you by PAD, Michael Colini, and in association with Max Mount, James O'Brown and Alan Larson. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of that PAD race will win a Max Mount dash mount to hold your cell phone in place and keep your hands both on that wheel. So a big shout out to PAD and Max Mount. Scott Sanderson right now in position 4, keeping a very close eye on his rearview mirror with Ryan Kuhn and Jarrett Lipster. Right now, these drivers are just playing follow the leader, knowing they've got a very long way to go. We have had 0 cautions and zero lead changes. Drivers doing a very great job. Looking at Ryan Kuhn edging on ever closer onto that rear end of Scott Sanderson. Actually, will get up onto the rear end of Scott Sanderson. Going wide to the right, Scott Sanderson counter strikes up there to the right. Ryan Kuhn hoping to get that run, but that little maneuver slowed him down as the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster saying, hey, I want some of this freight train action here on lap 6. Dropping on back through that pack, the number 73 of Justin Anderson, right now losing 2 spots from his qualifying position of 5, right now currently in 7. Saw him bust his way to the front there early on lap 3, but that may have burned up some of that tire wear. Dropping on back a little bit more to the number 74, Abe Bowden, and the number 211 of Tristan Beats. Abe Bowden looked very sharp out there, a veteran driver, racing against his teammate Tristan Beats. Both drivers at this point in time got to be extremely careful, but in the rear view of Tristan Beats, big action with Mark Jackson and Vernon Markheim and Tor Lebo. Mark Jackson right now sitting in 10th position, upping his qualifying from 1 position. Qualified in 11th, right now sitting in 10th. And he has gotten to the rear end, almost to the rear end of Tristan Beats, but dropping back some 3-wide action almost with number 4 of Tor Lebo and the number 33 of Vernon Markheim. And the number 14 of Colin Bauer. Colin Bauer up to the rear end of Mark Jackson. Colin Bauer going underneath Mark Jackson. Vernon Markheim following Colin Bauer. Let's take a look and see if they can do a double inside truck pass. Vernon Markheim up to the rear end, going down, following the number 14 of Colin Bauer. But Vernon having to let out of it a little bit, keeping perfect rhythm with the number 3 of Mark Jackson. Looking at Colin, he is up to the rear end of Abe Bowden and Tristan Beats. Abe Bowden and Tristan Beats right now currently side by side. Abe Bowden on the outside, Tristan Beats down onto the inside. Colin Bauer, Abe Bowden, very tight racing going on right now between Abe Bowden and Colin Bauer. Abe Bowden leaving plenty of room for Colin to go through that middle, tighten it up with Tristan Beats. Colin having to back way out of it. Kind of jacks up the number 3 of Mark Jackson. Now something very important out here, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of education out here. The factors of how fast you're going to go around this 2-point-mile speedway, you got to think about how fast you're entering the corner. Now looking at Abe Bowden and Colin Bauer, we're going to see one driver a little bit faster on the entry, pulling away from the truck behind him. Another driver letting out of it a little bit early, which will actually jack up the truck behind him. A lot of drivers, if they go in too hot, they've got to try to get back into it, get out of that corner a little bit better. Watching Colin go underneath, and they are side by side right now, equal momentum, but Colin Bauer having a little bit of more speed, sliding Abe Bowden up almost into that wall. Right now we're watching Abe Bowden come back. Let's watch their turning points here, see who has the better end line. Right there, Colin Bauer with a much better end coming into that corner. Abe Bowden not as fast on entry. Well, let's see how Colin does on exit. Colin Bauer seemingly being very good on both of those spots where he does come up onto the rear end of the number 211. Caution out. Caution is out, ladies and gentlemen. Looking back at Richard Brose. Richard Brose in the number 87. We were just talking about that situation right there, about that entry and exit, and watching Richie B. Great driver he is, but unfortunately sliding up into that wall, down onto the track, stopping. And I do believe, folks, that is what did trigger our caution. A single single truck incident right there on we are on lap 12. So unfortunate break there for Richard Brose. Richard Brose putting it in the shop for the evening. Hey, all that great music, ladies and gentlemen, you heard back up there at the beginning of our broadcast. Haven't had a chance to talk about Madison Rising. Great upcoming band. You can check them out on YouTube. They're out there on the World Wide Web. They're on Facebook. Check out Madison Rising. Big things coming in the future with All Pro Broadcasting and Madison Rising. But I tell you what, up there at the beginning of this broadcast, while we're waiting for these drivers to decide if they're going in and out of pit road, there was some great music out there in the beginning. Found myself stomping my feet a little bit. And these guys are just great, really cool guys to look at, to hear, to listen to see. Check them out, ladies and gentlemen. Madison Rising up here in the front, keeping an eye on our race leader underneath our first caution. And indeed goes into pit row, the number 98 of David Washington. And I tell you what, folks, I think right that there is a very good decision for David Washington to do. David Washington in position 1, Steve Dutz in position 2, Mitchell Reeves sitting back in position 3. Drivers have been doing a really good job out here, watching these drivers take right sides and take left sides. Always, again, a good decision. Drivers out here having a very good night so far, and here's the race off of pit row, and it appears it will be David Washington. Not sure if Scott Sanderson had that edge. I do believe Scott Sanderson did have the edge on Mitchell Reeves. While these drivers are getting back to some green flag racing momentarily, gives me a chance to get in a word or two with one or two drivers. Joining us up in the booth is Mitchell Reeves. How are we doing, Mitchell?
Look at you, Scott.
All righty, pretty good start out here these drivers are doing tonight. What are the keys to success out here at Auto Club?
Really just keeping a good rhythm, with us being at night and stuff like that. It's really just keeping a rhythm. Not going to be using a lot of brake probably, but it's going to be really hard to pass. And, me and Scott were having a really good battle there. I think you're going to have to see a lot of crossovers and stuff. But, the bottom's going to be the place to be. It's going to start getting really tight there at the end. So it's going to get really interesting as the race goes on. But, I think David's going to be the class of the field right now. Looks like he went to pit road for something there, but I'm sure he'll be back up here. But it's going to be a good race. Going to be happy to, try to keep this points lead, maybe bring him a top 3.
All righty, copy that. Now, as we do close out this season, this is race 9 of 12, we all know about your recent win in the Monday Night Mania series recently. How important is tonight's race in relationship to you winning another season?
Well, for me, I really like, the championship series and all that. To me, I've always been a big fan of points, running for points. We've really tried really hard to make every single race on the Mondays and Tuesdays. It would be awesome to win both of them. But really, it's just about staying consistent. It takes one race for you to have people, right back on you. Steve's pretty close. I think he's about 20 points back. So it takes one race where I get wrecked, or if I wreck twice and get out and have to, call it a night early for him to be right back in it. So it's all about consistency, Scott, in points racing. You don't have to win every one, but you need to be up there about every race to be in it, especially here at KMA.
All righty, copy that. I'm sure I'll be talking to you by the end of the night one more time. Good luck to you, Mitchell.
Southeast out.
And that was Mitchell Reeves running with Southeast. Drivers are still pacing. They are approaching that one to go. We've got Paul Palizer up there in front, Scott Sanderson, Mitchell Reeves in third, Steve Dutz sitting in fourth position, and the number 5 position belonging to Justin Anderson. Gives us real quickly to David Washington. David Washington, have you got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing out here tonight? Talk to me.
We're doing good. I went to switch TeamSpeaks here, and my screen went black, hit the wall. So I'm in the back. We'll be back up there.
All right. Did you have to use a reset your backup vehicle when that happened?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so you're in very good shape, because I tell you what, I don't worry about you unless you're back there too about the 20th position or so. Well, you're going to be restarting in 22nd, but I'm still not worried. I'm sure you're going to get her back up to the front of the field.
Yeah, we'll just take it easy here and get through traffic. And it's a long race. Just here to have fun and see what these guys got.
All righty, good luck to you, David.
Thank you.
David Washington, always a pleasure to talk to. And I guarantee you he will be back up here to the front. Right now, on our first restart of the night, one caution, one lead change. Drivers are gearing up, rearing up, getting ready to rock and roll. Hey, one more big shout out there for Madison Rising while I do have time. Becky Whitmer asking, who is Madison? And I tell you what, Becky, I think you would like their style. They're, not one of these young bands that are out there doing it's no Justin Bieber type of stuff. This is good, hard rock and roll, the type of stuff that you and I both grew up with. Check them out. I have. Hope you will too. Big shout out to Pro Automotive. If you're ever up there in Dudley, Massachusetts, having any problems, give Jason Russo with Pro Automotive ASE certified mechanics, keeping you on the road. Also, a big shout out to PAD, P-A-D-D. Pace car is in. Scott Sanderson side by side. Scott Sanderson. Well, I do believe that donut must have rolled off his bumper and gone forward because he is out of there and he is chasing something. Watching Mitchell Reeves come down very sharply in front of the number 48 Steve Dukes. Mitchell Reeves sharply back up there to the right. Steve Dukes coming underneath the left side of 02 of Mitchell Reeves. Scott Sanderson out there in front, edging up high. Steve Dukes very aggressive up there in front of Mitchell Reeves, but I do know these drivers are on the same radio comms. Are they trying to draft? I tell you what, they are trying to draft. We had mentioned this was like a baby Talladega. Ladies and gentlemen, we saw pushing here at Auto Club, and right now we're looking at Scott Sanderson. Well, I guess he must have caught that donut because he sure has slowed down right here on lap 18, dropping to position 4. Number 1 just a few seconds ago, dropping on further back down the back as he does. Get in front of the number 14, Colin, but Colin giving him a little bit of a shove. Colin wanting to go around the number. The number 14 of Colin Bauer trying to get around Scott Sanderson. Up there in the front, though, Steve Dukes in the number 48 and Mitchell Reeves in the 02 trying to make this a runaway, but they've got to keep a real close eye on the number 73. Number 73 being driven by Justin Anderson. Now, Justin and Steve Mitchell, they're all up there in that point chase for the TNT Series. This race very important as we are on race 9 of 12, and Steve and Mitchell. Mitchell is actually pushing Steve down that backstretch. Backing off in the corner, being aware of those different braking and acceleration points. Teammates working together, dropping back to Scott Sanderson. Still fighting a good battle with the number 14 of Colin Bauer. Drivers are racing for positions. Position 5, Colin Bauer, with a run on the inside. But Scott has got his hands full looking at his rear mirror with the number 20 of Ryan Kuhn. Ryan Kuhn, a very young driver. We've got 3 young drivers out here tonight. We've got Ryan Kuhn, we've got Jarrett Lipsner, we've got Tristan Beats. Might be a age factor out here tonight. Watching Ryan Kuhn get up to the rear end of Scott Sanderson, trying to go down to that inside lane, all the way to the apron. Scott Sanderson preventing it from happening. Ryan Kuhn going to try it one more time. Scott Sanderson way up high. Scott Sanderson now approaching onto the rear end of Colin. Drivers need to be anticipating their tire wear. A few of these drivers right now driving like they've got endless tires, keeping the camera focused on the battle between Ryan Kuhn and Scott Sanderson. I tell you what, folks, Scott Sanderson not giving Ryan anything, but there goes Ryan. They are scraping, ladies and gentlemen, door to door, and I don't think they were high-fiving one another. Maybe Scott Sanderson gave him a little bit of a wave as he does get that momentum right back, but they were side to side here on lap 22. Scott Sanderson seeming to finally get that breakaway from the number 20 of Ryan Kuhn, but checking out the rearview mirror of Ryan Kuhn, we've got Tristan Beats in the number 211. Young man versus young man right here on lap 22. Big shout out to Tristan Beats in position 7. And one position back of him, his counter partner, the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster. There they are, the 2 young guns. Jumping back to the number 3 of Mark Jackson as we slowly work our way back through this field. Mark Jackson having a very good race against the number 33 of Vernon Margheim. Both veteran drivers here. Older bunch of guys know their way around a track. They know quite a bit about a thing or two. Another driver, a veteran out here, The number 75 of Rusty Farrell. Rusty Farrell, Mark Jackson, and Vernon Markheim, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Right now playing follow the leader. Mark Jackson really not looking like he's very interested in going around the number 33 of Vernon Markheim. You always have to be anticipating a caution. So right now, possibly thinking about a fuel run, possibly thinking about a short pit, possibly anticipating a caution. Dropping on back a couple of more camera spots to the number 5 of Gary Whitmer Jr. Alrighty, Becky, there he is. He is driving the Musselman's Big Cup Pad Chevy Silverado, a Toyota Tundra. My bad, he's usually in a Chevy. Tonight he is driving a Toyota, but we won't tell Chevrolet about that. More importantly, Gary Whitmer out here showing his support for Pad tonight. Gary Whitmer started in position 26. He is halfway home, sitting in P13, looking very sharp out here tonight. Gary Whitmer, position 13, in the number 5, Musselman's Big Cup Toyota Tundra. Lap 25, one caution, only 3 lead changes. Drivers out here doing a very safe and very awesome job tonight. Drivers approaching speeds 178, having to back her down into the corners, getting her down to about 170. Checking in on one more driver I promised you a shot of, the number 7 of Chuck Dix. Chuck Dix, a recent addition to the KMA League. Been running with Chuck for probably about a month and a half. I'm not sure where he got the TFL construction truck from, but sitting up there on his windshield, supporting the KMA Racing Series. So a big shout out there to Chuck Dix in the TFL Support Our Troops KMA Racing Series. I believe it is a Chevy Silverado. Chuck Dix looking very good out here tonight. Going back up, checking in with our leaders. Same old up here with our race leaders, folks. We've got Steve Dietz, Mitchell Reeves out here in positions 1 and 2. Steve Dietz started out 8th, is in position 1. Mitchell Reeves started out 2nd, right now in 2nd place. Positions 3 and 4, Justin and Colin, they're just sitting up here doing their thing as well, knowing that the eventful stuff is going to come with the green flag pit stops. These drivers should be getting very close to. There's no reason really for 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5th position right now to push that luck. There's just absolutely no reason. A little bit more of a tougher battle back here with the number 20 of Ryan Kuhn and the number 211 of Tristan Beets, though. Tristan Beets staying tucked up onto that rear end of the number 20 of Ryan Kuhn. Now let's talk about that white line, ladies and gentlemen. That is the apron. Oh, Tristan Beets into the wall. Hard hit there for the number 211 of Tristan Beets. Well, we've heard about Jimi Hendrix and Kiss the Sky, but Tristan Beets kissed that wall pretty darn hard, scraping up the right side paint of the DFDA Chevy Silverado. He's still rolling, folks, but he may be wanting a very early pit stop. Might even possibly be hoping for a caution because he has got a little bit of right side damage. Looking behind him at his teammate, the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster, having his hands full still with Vernon and Mark. But I do not believe their positions have changed either. Vernon and Mark right now battling for 9th and 10th. Vernon getting up onto the rear end of Jarrett Lipster. Vernon Markheim dropping down to that inside lane, coming underneath the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster, as both of these drivers are gaining ground on Tristan Beets. A little bit damaged on the right side. Vernon and Jarrett side by side, nose to tail once again. Vernon staying a little bit lower off that wall. Can't quite make that pass down on that inside, getting back into it a little bit faster. And folks, right here what Vernon Markheim is trying to do. This is what's going to cost you that tire wear. Right now, Vernon having to push it a little bit harder, giving it everything he's got, finally getting it. But right now, Vernon is using a little bit more of that rubber, especially on those inside tires. There he is sliding up. Vernon Markheim sliding up into the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster. Now, folks, right there, that is the best education you can get. I told you that Vernon was pushing those tires. Watch Vernon slide right up, and even though he got that pass on, the number 99, well, because he used up all that tire wear, he lost it again. Interesting right there. Tire wear, tire wear. We cannot say that enough. Conserve, conserve, conserve. Taking a look at the number 3 of Mark Jackson. Now, Mark Jackson, that man right now, he is conserving those tires. Mark Jackson doing a great job out here on lap 32. Mark Jackson started the lap. Whoa, contact! Vernon one more time, sliding up. Vernon Markheim. Tire wear right there. Vernon Markheim going into pit row. The number 33 of Vernon Markheim is going into pit row. I reckon that he's possibly going into pit row to get some rubber on them tires. Those tires out here giving him grief. On lap 32, that is a mighty long way down. Pit row for Vernon Markheim. He actually qualified 14th. Got to go a long way. Doing a great job getting into pit row, though. Whoops, did pass. No, he's right there, spot on. What a great pit stop right there by Vernon. Vernon Markheim taking right sides. Vernon Markheim taking left sides. Hey, Vernon Markheim, green flag pit stop right there. Good job there by Vernon Markheim. Back out on track to the number 146 of Kenneth Wright. Kenneth Wright getting the inside run on the number 211 of Tristan Beats. Now, while we're watching Ken and Tristan here, folks, on lap 34, as Mark Jackson into the wall. Mark Jackson into the wall. Unfortunate break there for Mark Jackson into the wall, and Mark Jackson is way below speed. He's down to 146, 154, 156. Mark Jackson sporting some damage out tonight. Mark Jackson possibly might be going into pit row, and indeed, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Jackson going into pit row for our second round of green flag pit stops. But interesting, folks, the only 2 green flag pit stops we have had tonight, they were almost a necessity for the drivers that did go into pit row. But the one advantage to this, ladies and gentlemen, is when they get back on track, they're going to be so much faster than these drivers. For instance, up here in the front with Steve Dutz and Mitchell Reeves. These drivers out here, now they are on those proverbial old tires. Now Vernon and Mark, they're going to be getting out here, and they're going to be on fresh tires, and they're going to be driving solo. Nobody really in front, nobody behind, but they're going to be on fresh tires, and they are going to be able to go. And they will actually be putting out faster lap times than our current race leaders, Steve Dukes and Mitchell Reeves, and that's all going to be due to the tire wear. We're going to keep these cameras focused up here on Steve and Mitchell. I am anticipating some green flag pit stops coming up for these leaders very soon. Justin Anderson sitting in third position, just kind of floating her around. Scott Sanderson in fourth and Colin Bauer in fifth. These front 5 drivers, pretty much single file, just nobody is really challenging one another. Drivers possibly lining up, knowing they're going to be going into pit row. We're on lap 37 of 100. We have had 1 caution, 3 lead changes. Word on the track is these drivers are possibly about 8 laps out on some green flag pit stops. Make sure you check out All Pro Broadcasting. Give them a thumbs up out there on Facebook. Check them out on YouTube. Live broadcasting for KMA and Domino's TYJ. Check them out on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and special events on Saturdays and the Sunday Pad Race. Check them out, All Pro Broadcasting. Check out KMA Racing on Facebook. Most importantly, check out PAD, PADD.org. Steve Deuce, Mitch Reeves playing follow the leader up here on lap 38. Scott Sanderson, Justin Anderson, Colin Bauer playing follow the leader. Ryan Kuhn in 6th place, getting onto the rear end of the number 14 of Colin Bauer. Not really challenging him. Sometimes I think he's wanting to pass him. Sometimes I think he's just wanting to hang out. But again, these drivers are just right now staying very safe. Checking back in with the number 98 of David Washington. David Washington in position 9. Driving the Interstate Battery Monster Energy Toyota Tundra. David Washington qualified first. Right now in position 9 due to a computer, we're going to call it an engine, not really an engine, but hey, those computers have got an engine, but nonetheless, due to a real life situation there, but that's not bad. He is right now in position 9, looking very strong out here, and really not that far out of first place position. He is about 7 seconds back off of the race leader, Steve Deuce. He is right now working against the number 146 of Ken Wright. Both of these drivers, great looking drivers out here. I'm seeing that David possibly setting up for that duck and run down to that inside. I've watched David Washington around here for a couple of months now, gotten very familiar with him, and indeed, I do believe David Washington is setting up for a inside pass, but now word on the track is the number 18, being driven by Lee Ryerson Jr. Lee Ryerson Jr. going in for a green flag pit stop. Right now, Lee Ryerson Jr. is in the 21st position. Lee Ryerson Jr. did qualify position 18th. Called out his pit maneuver way early. Well, I guess that's a good thing right there, ladies and gentlemen. Lee Ryerson calling out that pit stop one actually lap early than what he was anticipating. Possibly even changing his mind. And there goes the number 25. 25 of Danny Rudy. There we go. 25 of Danny Rudy. 25 of Danny Rudy. Had my camera numbers wrong right there, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Danny Rudy going into pit row. Several drivers out here into pit row. Pit row action coming heavy and hard here on lap 42. Love watching these drivers go in and out of pit row, but they have got rules to follow. Pit row. 55 miles per hour. Get a speeding going in. It'll cost you 15-second delay. Get a speeding penalty going out. And they'll make you come back in. Sit for a couple seconds. Number 48, our race leader. Our race leader, 48, Steve Dutz, into pit row. Interesting situation right there. Mitchell Reeves did not go into pit row. Steve Dutz did. It is a mighty long drive down pit row for Steve Dutz. Almost to the halfway point of tonight's race. Green flag pit stop, cycling in and out. The 02, Mitchell Reeves. Mitchell Reeves making his green flag pit stop 1 lap later than Steve Dutz. Now that is what I was looking for, ladies and gentlemen. Now Steve Dutz went in 1 lap ago. Mitchell Reeves went in on this lap. That will give Mitchell Reeves a 1 lap advantage. So we could possibly be seeing these drivers wanting to hook back up. But one driver is going to have 1 lap or 2 more of fuel. This could be a check or a checkmate for Mitchell Reeves or Steve Dutz. One more driver going in is the 171 of David Whiteside. Number 171 of David Whiteside making his way into pit row. Great looking truck right there, showing his support for Pad on the hood of that Chevy Silverado. Hey, big shout out to the 171 Popsicle. He has got that Pad logo on the rear end right above that Chevy emblem as well. Hey, big shout out there to David Whiteside, showing his support for Pad. Quick reminder, ladies and gentlemen, Racing for Pad coming up to you this Sunday, 7 o'clock Central, live broadcast by All Pro Broadcasting. 100 laps of Talladega, and the Talladega Pad trucks. Going to see a lot of great looking trucks out there that night. Back out onto that track. Taking a look at Mitchell Reeves. Right now, Mitchell Reeves in position 6. And Steve Dutz in position 7. Now, how about that, ladies and gentlemen? Do I know my drivers or do I know my drivers? Mitchell Reeves, Steve Dutz. One more time, hooked up. But Mitchell Reeves in front of Steve Dutz, but he has got that extra lap or two of fuel. Checking in with our race leaders right now. The race leader is showing up as the number 73 of Justin Anderson. Big shout out to Justin Anderson. Second place, Ivan Garcia, but Ivan Garcia currently in pit row. Will be surrendering that second place position very soon. Justin Anderson, our current race leader on lap 47. And ladies and gentlemen, it's a good time for us to take a quick commercial break. Saw some great green flag pit stops. But let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with you.
In the open road, I got the throttle wide open. Be on my place. Got 100 horses between my legs. No destination. No.
You're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Freedom Track.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, jumping right to some great action on that track with the number 171 of David Whiteside. David Whiteside side by side with Ivan Garcia as they are trying to work their way around the number 7 of Chuck Dix. But right there on the outside, they are 3 wide, and they are 3 wide with the current race leader, Justin Anderson. Justin Anderson right now trying to put a couple of drivers a lap down. Justin Anderson out there in that number 73 doing a great job coming around the inside of the number 72 of Ivan Garcia. As he does come around him, that will put Ivan Garcia officially 1 lap down. Ivan Garcia, number 72, letting our race leader Justin Anderson by. Very nice. Very good guy, that Ivan Garcia. Ivan Garcia, not a slow man, though. Right now, Ivan Garcia doing a great job of swinging very much wider. Preferred line a little bit high. Not thinking he's trying to get a run or anything, but he may be. Ivan Garcia, if he wants to get back on that lead lap, he has got to get around number 73 of Justin Anderson. Going back and checking out the Steve and Mitchell show, positions 2 and 3. Steve and Mitchell are 2.5 seconds back off of the rear end of the number 73 of Justin Anderson. Steve Dukes, Mitchell Reeves, playing follow the leader here on lap 56. Positions 4 and 5 belonging to Scott Sanderson and Ryan Kuhn, side by side. Ryan Kuhn, young Wildcat. Look at that line being driven by Ryan Kuhn. I do not think he meant to get that tight onto number 93 of Scott Sanderson. But Scott Sanderson, no slouch himself, doing everything he can to keep the young Wildcat of the number 20 of Ryan Kuhn from coming around him here on lap 57. There goes Ryan Kuhn trying to make that inside, but one more time, we talked about that tire wear situation. I think Ryan Kuhn is pushing a little bit hard back up to those leaders. Justin Anderson in the number 73. Starting to make his way out of and away from the number 72 of Ivan Garcia. Ivan Garcia, first driver, a lap down. Justin Anderson, qualified 5th. Right now in position 1. Big shout out to the fans out there in the Old Pro Broadcasting chat box. Big shout out to Becky Whitmer out here tonight rooting on her son, Gary Whitmer. Gary Whitmer, GW Graphics. Make sure you check out Gary Whitmer. Check him out on Facebook as well. He's out there on YouTube. GW Graphics, the official videographer for KMA Racing. Putting a lot of videos together, including that brand new pad video we will be showing to you come Sunday. Gary put that one together. GW Graphics. Big shout out to Richie B, our Monday night sponsor. Unfortunately out early on. Unsurmountable damage. Richie B get a little bit loose. Single car, single truck spin out. But nonetheless, a big shout out to Richie B. Big shout out to Pro Automotive, our Tuesday night sponsor here with the Tuesday night trucks. Unfortunately, Jason spending a lot of time in his shop this time of year, not able to join us tonight either. Tell you what, folks, Justin Anderson putting on a brilliant show out here, keeping a safe 2.2 second distance off of Steve Dutz and a 2.4 second distance off of Mitchell Reeves. We've got 18 drivers on that lead lap. Drivers still pulling down an average lap time of about 40.5, 40.6. A few drivers a little bit higher than that as those tires are starting to give. But Justin Anderson out here in the front doing a very good job. I do want to go back and check on a couple of other drivers, going back and checking in on the number 4 of Tor Helevo. We haven't seen Tor tonight. driving the red and blue. I believe that is a flag of sorts, but nonetheless, Tori Halebo dropping 6 spots, sitting in position 16th, qualified up there in 10th. Out there in the middle of no man's land, nearest driver in sight for Tor is in front to the number 5 of Gary Whitmer. Gary Whitmer Jr. right now in position 15, working his way to the front slowly but surely. Gary Whitmer right now between the lap traffic of Kenneth Wright in his rearview mirror and Lee Staples. Lee Staples is actually on the same lap. So right now Gary Whitmer and Lee Staples battling for 14th in position. Drivers separated by half a second. Gary Whitmer appearing to get a little bit of a run, to giving it everything he's got to get up there to the rear end of the number 64 of Lee Staples. But it's going to take him several laps to get it up there. Jumping forward to a little bit more exciting racing with Mark Jackson and Tristan Beats. Mark Jackson in position 12, Tristan Beats in position 13. As these pit stops did cycle through, ladies and gentlemen, that did allow a lot of these drivers to get away from one another. Not seeing hardly any double file racing out here. Drivers right now being very safe, anticipating one more round of green flag pit stops. Tristan Beats keeping an eye on his rear view mirror at the number 61 of Paul Palizer. Paul Palizer 2 laps down in position 26. 2 laps down or not, I tell you what, folks, looking very sharp out there in that Dunkin' Donuts Silverado. Paul Pleisner, he may be two laps down, but he is out there supporting Dunkin' Donuts. Looking at the number 3 of Mark Jackson, big run onto Vernon. That is because the number 33 of Vernon is going into pit row. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, I did not know what was going on right there with Mark Jackson. He was coming up so hot and heavy on the number 33 of Vernon Markheim. Vernon Markheim going in for a green flag pit stop. Taking a look at Vernon Markheim. Vernon Markheim looking very sharp out there. Toyota Tundra. GTR. More green flag pit stops beginning to cycle right now. We are with Vernon Markheim. Taking that long ride down pit row. Vernon Markheim qualified 14th, right now in position 15. Getting word on the track of another important pit stop, the number 3 of Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson getting ready to go into pit row. Wanted to get a good look at that truck there being driven by Mark Jackson. It's the Son of a Digger. Great artwork out there on the hood of that Chevy Silverado, brought to you by Over the Top Paints and Designs. Son of a Digger, right across the tailgate. OTT, Over the Top Paints and Designs, Mark Jackson, in for a green flag pit stop here on lap 66. One more reminder, ladies and gentlemen, as these drivers do go in and out of pit row, they may cycle one lap down, but there are other drivers on this track that still need to pit, and they will be catching that lap up as the lap up drivers pit. It'll all cycle through. It'll all catch up. The only thing these drivers that have pitted have got to worry about is if that caution does come out before the trucks in front go into pit row, that will freeze that flag. And then the drivers that have gone into pit row, well, they're not going to want to go into pit row under caution, so they're going to land out there in the front, whereas the drivers that still have yet to pit, they're going to pit under caution, and they're going to wind up a little bit further back into that field. So right now, strategy is the name of the game. Checking in with a couple of more drivers out here, looking at the number 14 of Kohlenbauer. Colin Bauer started out position 15th, right now in position 7. Slowly working his way to the front. Trying to catch up to the rear end of the number 98 of David Washington. Well, green flag pit stop coming in for the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster. Jarrett Lipster came a young gun number 1. Jarrett Lipster going into pit row. Jarrett Lipster looking very sharp out there, and he is in the official KMA Young Guns Chevy Silverado. Sharp looking paint job right there, brought to you by Over the Top Paints and Designs. What a sharp looking Silverado. Got the DFDA logo on the hood of it. Young Guns and the DFDA logos all over. That great paint job brought to you by Over the Top Paints and Designs. 64, number 64, Lee Staples taking his turn at a green flag pit stop. We have also got word on the track that the number 5, Gary Whitmer, going into pit row. Lee Staples and Gary Whitmer both going into pit row. Well, hello, Martha Tierheimer. Big shout out to Martha Tierheimer back there on that All-Pro Broadcasting chat. And, well, no, we have not noticed Wally out here, Martha. Unfortunately, not seeing Wally out here in tonight's field, but I guarantee you he is being missed out here. Green flag pit stops for Gary Whitmer and Lee Staples. Getting back out onto that track. We've seen some green flag pit stops, but I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we've got one more commercial to get in, and right now would be a great time to get that secondary commercial in. We'll be right back with you to close it out here in Race 9 of 12 at Auto Club.
They don't do it for the money. Do it for the country. It's not about the fame. They do it for the USA. They don't do it for the money. They do it for the country. It's not about the fame. They do it for the
Arizona Painting Company is one of the largest house painting companies in the state. We do interior painting, exterior painting, epoxy flooring, and faux finishing. We take care of your house from start to finish. Power washing, fixing cracks, caulking around all windows and doors, re-nailing all the loose wood around the house. Foundation gets waterproofed and scraped. We mask everything completely off, and then we do the painting. For the interior of the house, we help you move the large furniture. We completely cover everything in plastic. We fix all the cracks in your walls. We texture any areas that need it. We caulk around all the windows, the trim, the doors, and then we brush and roll everything with 2 coats. I truly believe that Arizona Painting Company has some of the best painters in Phoenix. Most of our painters have been with us for over 10 years.
My vision with the company is to do quality craftsmanship, use the best materials available, and make the customer extremely happy and have that customer relationship.
The thing that separates Arizona Painting Company from other companies is our customer service. From the office answering your calls 7 days a week to the painters and the professional crew that's here with the foreman on site the whole time, we are dedicated to the customer from the start to the finish of the job.
Smithley, driver the number 0, JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We had only one caution out here tonight. These drivers are looking like they're going to finish it up on some green flags. Green flag activity. We've had a lot of pit stops while we were underneath that commercial break. Checking in with our race leader, though. We've got the number 73 of Justin Anderson out in front of the number 2 of Mitchell Reeves by 3.3 seconds. Now at the rear end of the bumper of the number 73 of Justin Anderson, there does sit Ryan Kuhn, but unfortunately Ryan Kuhn in trouble with the popo in pit row. Got a speeding penalty, and unfortunately that will put Ryan Kuhn one lap down. In order for Ryan Kuhn to get back on that lead lap, though, he's got to get around the number 73 of Justin Anderson, and around they go past the number 15 of Gary Whitmer. Ryan Kuhn trying very hard to get around the number 73 of Justin Anderson. It is indeed critical for Gary and Ryan both to get around the number 73. Looking at Gary Whitmer, ladies and gentlemen, Gary and Ryan, if they do get around the number 73 of Justin Anderson, they will be back onto that lead lap. We've seen a lot of that happening lately. I remember talking about that last night. Ryan Kuhn looking like he has got a possible shot at it, but in this position he has got to be extremely careful not to wreck that leader. Now, commonly we do not actually recommend lap traffic racing with the leaders, but right now Ryan Kuhn, he has got no other choice. Otherwise he's going to be one lap down. The number 73 coming up fast and hard on that of Vernon Markheim. I'm not sure what Vernon Markheim was doing, but there is a rule about slower traffic hitting up to the right there on these super speedways. Well, maybe he was thinking that didn't apply out here. Technically not a super speedway, but nonetheless, that did check up the number 73 of Justin Anderson, but no harm, I guess no foul, because Justin Anderson, he's keeping on trucking right now on lap 79. Lap 80, and Ryan Kuhn not really looking like he's much of a threat anymore. Moving back quickly to a couple of more spots. Looking at the 02 of Mitchell Reeves right now in P2. And he is 3 seconds back, coming up onto the rear end of that much slower traffic of the number 33 of Vernon Markheim. Well, we're going to see exactly how fast closing rate Mitchell Reeves does have on the number 33. He is coming up rip-roaring fast along that inside lane. Vernon Markheim getting high to allow the safe passage of Mitchell Reeves. Thank you very much there, Vernon Markheim. Jumping back to position 3, we have got Scott Sanderson racing it out with the number 48 of Steve Dutz for position 4th and 3rd. Scott Sanderson, Steve Dutz, positions 3 and 4. 5.7 seconds back of our race leader, and back to position 5, David Washington. In position 6, he is 18 seconds back. David Washington's hopes might be slipping away. Position 6 belonging to the number 75 of Rusty Farrell, 18 seconds back. And just a couple of clicks back behind Rusty, we have got Mark Jackson and Colin Bowers still in it. Mark Jackson in position 7. Colin Bauer, position 8. I do believe Colin Bauer right now is in position 7 at the line. Big shout out to Colin and Mark Jackson out here, still hanging in there. One spot back to Abe Bowden in 9th position. And he is 22 seconds back. Back to Jarrett and Tristan in 10th and 11th. And they are 23 seconds back. And the last driver on this lead lap, Lee Staples, position 12, 35 seconds back. Well, I tell you what, folks, it may appear very easily that Justin Anderson has got this one here wrapped up. He is still battling away with the number 2, I do believe, of Ryan Kuhn, or the number 20 of Ryan Kuhn. Ryan Kuhn making sure that he's not battling too hard. But again, if Ryan Kuhn wants to get back onto the lead lap, he's got to get around the number 73 of Justin Anderson. Now, something to think about, something for young Ryan to consider, though. I got to get around the race leader. Once I do, I have got to lap this track, lap every driver between me and that race leader, and I've got to catch back up to the rear bumper of that leader. So what he's got to figure out, folks, we're on lap 83. This is my lap 82. I'm not really thinking Ryan's going to push his luck. I think Ryan Kuhn right now has made a wise decision and is going to follow the number 73 of Justin Anderson, caution dependent, into victory lane. We've had one caution, 11 lead changes. Going back and checking on a little bit more exciting action there. Steve Dutz and Scott Sanderson. They're a little bit closer. So many of these drivers right now are spread out. Just like sitting here looking at 4th place and 3rd place. Looking at 3rd, 4th, and 5th. You know, they are spread out. Actually, 5th place is 10 seconds back, but Steve and Scott, they're 4.9 seconds back and 5.5 seconds back, so they indeed themselves are spread out by half a second here on lap 85. Pending a caution, I do believe that Justin Anderson will have it signed, sealed, and delivered out here tonight. Fifth position right now belonging to David Washington as he does work himself around at the number 33 of Vernon Markheim. Vernon Markheim 1 lap down. David Washington right now in position 5. 9.8 seconds back. He has gained a spot since we last looked at him, but he has got 14 laps to gain 10 seconds on our race leader. Not completely sure that one there is going to happen out here tonight, but nonetheless, great opportunity out here tonight for David Washington, having a real life issue early on, but coming back. Hey, some good action right here with the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster and the 211 of Tristan Beats. Tristan Beats getting onto the rear end of the number 99, trying to push him into the draft of the number 3 of Mark Jackson. Right now, Mark Jackson, position 9, Jarrett Lipster, position 10, Tristan Beats sitting in position 11. Mark Jackson coming up onto the rear end of the number 74, Skiddo Mobile. Number 74 of Abe Bowden right now in position 8, and he is 23 seconds back. 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th right now have settled down to single file action as we're watching the number 99 get a little bit closer to the son of a digger, number 3, Mark Jackson. But again, these drivers just may right now be wanting to take the ride home. One more time, the 211 of Tristan Beats looking like he's going to pretend this is Talladega and get up there onto the rear end of his counterpart, trying to push him up through that draft. Right now, number 99, Jarrett Lipster, into the draft of the number 33, but not quite yet able to get that run. One more pit stop coming up for the number 171 of David Whiteside. Late pit, David Whiteside showing support for a pad on the top of the great looking truck right there, the popsicle truck. But number 171 going into pit row, getting her down to 55 miles per hour. This will be the last pit stop I am anticipating on seeing tonight. Once we get those tires on and off of the number 73 of Justin Anderson, of David Whiteside, we're going to get right back up with our race leaders. Such a great looking truck right there. We really appreciate the support being shown for Pad on the hood of it. Big shout out to David Whiteside. Taking rights, taking lefts, getting back out here onto the track. Checking up here with Justin Anderson. Way up here in front, all by his lonesome. Finally being able to pull away from the lap traffic of Ryan Kuhn. Ryan Kuhn was having to work himself around the number 91 of Joel Guy. Joel Guy in position 22. 2 laps down. Ryan Kuhn, 1 lap down. Ryan Kuhn still in that lucky dog position. Fair go, a late race caution, but I do not think we're going to see one. Right now, Justin Anderson, he is out in front of Mitchell Reeves by 2.4 seconds. Mitchell Reeves, running for Southeast, has put on a tremendously good show this season. I know he will be disappointed, but he is going to possibly take second place to a much worthy opponent. And I had said early on that my bets for tonight were Justin Anderson or David Washington. David Washington right now in position 5, qualifying first. Justin Anderson qualifying 5. Might finish first. Now that's interesting. We got a 5 to a 1 and a 1 to a 5. Well, that must be destiny, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out to Edward Bray and Chris Ho. Edward Bray bringing home a very solid number 10 in the ASRS with LA Simsport race team tonight. Hey, congratulations there, Edward Bray. Justin Anderson, current race leader. Mitchell Reeves up to about a 2.2 second gap. So Mitchell Reeves trying to make something happen out here on lap 93. Mitchell Reeves not quite close enough to get onto the draft of Ryan Kuhn. But right now that is his focus as he is following that line around. We are on lap 93, coming down to those final laps, watching Mitchell Reeves trying to catch up to Ryan Kuhn. Getting into that draft, trying to make 2 trucks faster than 1, but they are indeed running out of time. Justin Anderson out there in the lead. Mitchell Reeves 2.1 seconds back. Mitchell Reeves is gaining. Now Scott Sanderson sitting back there in 3rd place. He's 5 seconds back. Do not think he's going to gain it up, but right now Mitchell Reeves trying hard. Getting very close up to the rear end of Ryan Kuhn. He's getting a little bit closer, folks. Gap still sitting at about 2.1 seconds. Do you think Mitchell Reeves will get it? Well, Mitchell Reeves comes tearing around the inside of Ryan Kuhn. Now there is nothing separating Justin Anderson and Mitchell Reeves but complete clean air. Right now it is all about the line. Mitchell Reeves cutting down to 1.9. Ladies and gentlemen, he is gaining. Mitchell Reeves last lap was a 40.671 compared to a 0.875 by Justin Anderson. Our race leader is slower than 2nd place, and Mitchell Reeves, he is gaining. He is gaining. Folks, do you think Mitchell Reeves has got what it takes to make a last few lap pass and gain on the number 73, Justin Anderson? Mitchell Reeves can see him. Mitchell Reeves digging down deep. He is to a 1.7, gaining lap after lap after lap. Mitchell Reeves last lap 40.690. Justin Anderson an 8.59. Mitchell Reeves back here saying, I think I can, I think I can. Ladies and gentlemen, I think he might. We're on lap 96. Mitchell Reeves chasing down Justin Anderson. They are getting much closer to one another. Mitchell Reeves making big things happen out here tonight. Mitchell Reeves right now in second place, qualified second place. Getting ever a little bit closer, and ladies and gentlemen, he just might do it. Justin Anderson having to dodge a little bit of lap traffic up there on the inside lap traffic, being very nice and giving Justin Anderson the groove, the upper groove, the lap traffic belonging to the number 25 of Danny Rudy. Mitchell Reeves down to 1.5. We are on lap 96. 4 more laps to get her done, but Mitchell Reeves 1.5 seconds back. He is gaining 0.2. Mitchell Reeves at 1.399 as those numbers are updating. Ladies and gentlemen, can Mitchell do this? This will be the comeback laps of the year. He's got 2 to get her done. Justin Anderson, position 1. Mitchell Reeves, position 2. Scott Sanderson, position 3, 5 seconds back. Steve Dukes back in 4th, 6 seconds back, and David Washington in 5th, 7 back. This is the Justin Anderson and Mitchell Reeves show here in race 9 of 12 here at Auto Club. I tell you what, fans, we've had one caution, looking like 11 lead changes Wednesday night out here at Auto Club. Drivers doing it. This has got to be the race of the week as far as quality goes. Mitchell Reeves, 1.155. He is chopping it off lap by lap by lap. Right now, they are 1 second back. 1 second back as those numbers are coming in. Live updates. Mitchell Reeves digging deep. Now, tire wear factor. Justin Anderson just a little bit to go. Justin Anderson digging in deep. Mitchell Reeves digging in deep. Both these drivers taking everything they have right now. Position 1 and 2 ever closer, ladies and gentlemen. Does appear that Mitchell Reeves may not quite have enough laps. He is running out of time as they are coming down that backstretch. Speeds up 182, 183, backing her down. Coming out of that apex, sitting at about 171 and speeding back up into it. Justin Anderson, Mitchell Reeves, Justin Anderson, looking like he's got it signed, sold, and delivered and wrapped up out here at Auto Club. What a run out here tonight for Justin Anderson, Mitchell Reeves, and Scott Sanderson. And Justin Anderson will bring her home. Hang tight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get these drivers up here for post-race interviews. What a night out here tonight at Auto Club. How about it, Scott Sanderson? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
What a race out here. You did very well, sir. Position 3, 5.5 seconds back. Talk to me about your night.
It was... Actually, I just ran out of fuel. Timed it perfectly. Yeah, that's kind of how my night went. Like, everything just fell into place perfectly, so... yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It's like only my 3rd race ever at Auto Club, so didn't know much about fuel runs or anything during one of our pit parties in the practice session there. I got a general consensus on how far I could go, but I didn't know exactly because it wasn't race pace. But yeah, stayed out of trouble and got what I wanted to do done.
Well, you did.
So.
You did a very good job tonight. You started 3rd, and you finished 3rd. So good job, Scott.
Consistency at its finest right there.
There you go, sir. Good idea. All righty, folks. Joining us up in the booth now is Mitchell Reeves. How about it, Mitchell Reeves? Have you got a copy?
Oh, yeah, Scott.
All righty. Talk to me about your race tonight.
Man, it was a great race. It was really, really awesome to get some green flag pit stops in there. And I'm telling you what, I don't know what Justin did on the start of those new tires, but man, he just pulled so much away from me right off pit road. And man, it was just so hard to catch back up. We really started drilling him in there with about 5 to go. If we had about 3 more laps, might have been able to get him. But I was really, if I'm gonna lose somebody, I'm glad it was Justin. It's been a while since he's won. It's really awesome to see him back in victory lane. He's been up there about every race. So hats off to Justin, and just happy to get a podium and help out on the points a little bit.
All righty, copy that, and a big shout out to Mitchell Reeves and to Southeast. But I want to leave you in here while I talk to Justin because you answered half my question. Now, Justin Anderson, have you got a copy?
10-4.
Now, we were watching Mitchell on those last 9 laps, and he was about 2.9 seconds back when he started really getting into gear. And those numbers, he was down to 2.7, down to 1.9, down to 1.3, down to the 900s. What was in your mind right there as far as your tires, and were you wearing your tires out? How was he gaining in your mind?
So what happened, the pit stop before that, when he and Steve were running second and third, was I kind of blasted the tires at the beginning of the run and built up a cushion, and then was able to maintain it over the course of the run. So I tried that the second time around also, but Mitchell wasn't running behind Steve, so he didn't have aero push, so his tires stayed fresher. And I wasn't really anticipating him to make that much of a run, so as I saw the gap dwindling, my palms got sweatier and I gripped the wheel a little bit tighter, but thankfully we hung on.
All righty, copy that. All right, real quick, tell me about that great-looking truck you got right there.
So it's the U.S. Postal Service truck, and actually National Consumer Protection Week is coming up in 2 weeks. It is a national initiative to inform customers about mail fraud, mail theft, identity theft. So it's actually a really important cause, and it saves a lot of people time, money, and having their identities stolen. So it's a great cause, and go to USPS.com.
All righty, copy that. All right, Justin Anderson, Mr. Reeves, Scott Sanderson, positions 1, 2, and 3 tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, one caution, 11 lead changes. Well, I tell you what, we're going to write this one down. We're going to bookmark this broadcast right here. Hopefully you will share. This was the best of the best. Race 9 in the Tuesday Night Truck Series, brought to you by Pro Automotive. Make sure you check out Domino's TYJ on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Back here at Talladega in race 9 of 12 on Friday. The Screaming Eagle 266 on Saturday, and Race for Pat on Sunday. Great racing coming up, ladies and gentlemen. I am Scott Kolovic. He is Michael Benito with All Pro Broadcasting, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Good night.
Robert.
So we're here at the first annual Paint It Forward giveaway. Joe, you're the owner of the company. Why are we here?
Well, as a leading painting company in Arizona, we thought it was a good idea to set a good example for what other companies can do.
So how does it work? People have to write why they need you guys to come out and paint their house. Maybe it's a family problem. There's a little old lady down the street who can't paint her own house. A lot of different things.
Yeah, really it's just any story. We asked them to go on our website and submit their story. And we had over 100 entries this year. And as a company, we voted on the top 10, and Kelly was the winner of all of that.
Tell us your story about your husband. He's had a tough struggle. This is one of the reasons why we're here for you and for him.
Right. Yeah. He was diagnosed just shortly after my son was born, about 9 years ago, with cancer. It's a slow-growing type of cancer, but the last couple years it's been making more of a headway.
When you got the HOA letter in the mail that said you need to paint your house, is that a sinking feeling in your stomach, knowing that I don't know if I can afford this?
It is, because it's something that you have to do, but you don't know where the money's coming from, and you have about 20 or 30 other things that have a priority.